Alright, so for our very first video, I will try to attempt and make some salsa with some tomatillo salsa, and also going to make chile verde with it. So this is a recipe from a dear friend, and she passed on her knowledge to me. I am not a professional chef. I do not have formal training. I just love to cook, and I love to try and experiment with different stuff. So we're gonna start off with some tomatillos. We're gonna add some serrano peppers, also some garlic, and a little bit of onion. And if you saw that little orange thing there, that is some habanero peppers. That is for my wife. She loves spicy stuff, and I'm gonna make her salsa really spicy. And also put on the list some salt and pepper, and one of my favorite thing to use, chicken bouillon. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, first things first, we're gonna get our serrano peppers, clean them up. We're gonna rinse them up, and we're gonna remove these so that you don't have to pick them off later when they're cooked. Alright, so after we cut off all the stems, we are gonna boil it with some garlic and onion. Now while we have this cooking with some onion, garlic, and some chicken bouillon and a little bit of water, just enough to make them float a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and cover that up. And we're gonna go back here and we're gonna peel our tomatillos, just like so. Now we have to boil the peppers first because it cooks a little longer than the tomatillo would. So as that is cooking, it is smelling really good. I have my tomatillo soaking in a little water. It's a little sticky when you peel it, so that's why I got a little soak in there. I don't know what that's gonna do, but I just don't want the sticky thing, and it'll get in your hands. So if you want to wear gloves, that's might be a good idea. So let's get back to this, and I will just boil this for maybe another 2-3 minutes or so. Total time boiling maybe 7 to 8 minutes, if maybe less. Just go in there and poke it if it's starting to get soft, and time to put the tomatillos in. Alright, so it's been boiling for about 7 minutes now. I can see that I can pretty much poke it with a fork and it goes right in. It's getting a little soft, so I'm pretty sure it's time to add our tomatillos. So just grab the tomatillos. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop them in there. This won't take that long. The tomatillos will cook really fast. Maybe we'll add a little salt. Well, I'll add the salt later. I already put some of the chicken bouillon in there. I'll add the salt and pepper later. Alright, so it's been boiling for about 5-7 minutes or so, and the way I can tell that it's cooked now, it's starting to get wrinkly there, and then when I stick the fork, it goes right in real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. I'm just gonna let it set, let it cool down a little bit before I take it to the blender. Now while it's cooling down a little bit, I went ahead and cut the pork. I'm using pork butt. I like it because it has a little bit more fattiness into it. If you're a little bit more in the conservative side, you don't like pork fat, then probably use a tenderloin. It won't be as juicy because fat makes everything taste good. So I'm gonna go ahead and boil these first for maybe 20 minutes or so. Take that. That's actually a little too much water. I'm gonna reduce that a little bit. I'm gonna add some chicken bouillon and maybe some salt and pepper. Alright, so now I feel like it's cooled down enough. I'm just gonna use a little scooper. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop some of this, and I'm gonna go put it to my blender here. And the key is to not put enough too much water when you're boiling it. This water right here, I think, should be pretty darn good. It'll, once I start blending this, it'll mix well with the tomatillo and serrano peppers. But if you put too much water, you might want to remove some because your salsa will be very runny. So I won't put some, and of course the water will help with the blending. It's still a little warm. So we gotta hold this, and we're gonna. So this is the consistency of the salsa after the blender, and as you can see, this is how I like it. It's just runny enough, not too thick, not too runny. So I'm gonna go ahead and save some of these. I'm gonna put it in a jar, and I'm gonna keep it in my fridge. This is gonna be my secret stash of salsa, and I'm also gonna use some for tonight, and I'm gonna finish it with making chile verde. So hang on for a second, and we're waiting on our pork to cook right now. Now let me go ahead and check. It's finally boiling. The way I check if my pork is done is the same way I was checking the peppers and tomatillo. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick a fork in there. Actually, if the way I really know when it's cooked, it's if I go in there with a fork and just touch it a little bit, it usually would cut. Now if it does, if it does that, that means it's nice and tender and it's ready to be mixed. Alright, so this has been boiling, I would say, for about 45 minutes or so. This is the way I like to check my pork. I just take it to the side usually, and you see how that breaks. I'm sorry, I didn't see that, but it breaks apart real easy. That's when I know it's tender. So now we're gonna turn this off, and we're gonna get another pot ready for the chile verde.